Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom and a pick a card this week for October 29th through November 5th. And we're on approach to the total lunar eclipse coming on November 8th. We're in that in-between space, but we're definitely in there. 1 foot here, 1 foot on the other side. It is almost All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, All Saints Day. A lot going on, a lot going on. And I don't really feel that great today, but I'm gonna do a pick a card this week. I just don't have the energy to do a whole lot. And I'm gonna give you the option to choose from the Messenger Oracle deck. So this is what you're going to pick from, and I'll pick 3 cards from each deck. Messenger Oracle deck, the Wisdom of the Night Oracle, or the Halloween Oracle. So I'll choose 3 cards from each. You decide which deck you want the reading from. Before I move on to that, the card that I chose for the week, and I already posted it on Facebook and Instagram because I picked the cat card today, and it is National Cat Day. So I thought that that was pretty interesting. It talks about fortune and opportunity. So go to my Facebook or Instagram and check out what I wrote about that. Um, I love it. It's just such a gorge card, and I think it goes perfect for the time of year, perfect for National Cat Day, and yeah, so read all about it and how it matches up with the astrology. And this is the first year in, gosh, 18 years. Well, Facebook hasn't been around 18 years. Maybe it has. But this is the first year in a while that I haven't posted Missa because she passed away this year. Um, anyway, my crystal of the week is chrysocolla. It is sacral sounds. And so that immediately talks to me about the throat chakra, which is also our ears, speaking our truth. Now I'm having a voice issue. This was just such a weird day. Such a freaking weird day. Beautiful autumn day here, but weird nonetheless. Um, this is chrysocolla. It's like blue and green, so it has azurite, I believe like some malachite. There could be a little hematite in there, but it's really a beautiful stone. It's great for balancing and opening up the throat chakra. You could even probably use it for the third eye a little bit, but the sacral sounds talks about speaking your truth, hearing the truth, because a lot of times communication has more to do with listening than actually speaking. This is also about paying attention to whispers in the night. The veil is very thin. Whispers in the night as far as like signs that you may be getting from the other side. All right, so let's get into, well, before I do that, I'm just going to tell you about the astrology real quick. Um, Yesterday, Jupiter moved back because it's retrograde into Pisces. So I feel like we have a softer, kinder, gentler energy. I posted about that as well yesterday. It's a time for caring and compassion. And I think we all need that, especially coming up on this eclipse of craziness. And I will be doing a full video with card reading for all zodiac signs for the eclipse. Um, today, today, Mercury moved into Scorpio. And so I already put the cat card away because I'll shuffle it for that reading. If you read that post about the cat card, I do talk about how Mercury, who is the messenger, he's down in the underworld. And that's what he does. He goes down into the underworld to see Pluto that has taken Persephone down into the underworld until spring. He's making the deals with Pluto about bringing her back up to the surface so that we can have spring when he returns Persephone to her mother, um, Demeter, or also known as Ceres, the goddess of grain and abundance. So yeah, this is about like really listening to your soul, digging down deep, diving down deep into your soul, listening to your inner heart. And I think that that's why this Chris Cola that came out is perfect for that. He's not going to spend a whole lot of time in Scorpio because he will be moving into Sagittarius, I believe November 17th. So Mercury is moving very quickly right now. So just spending a couple of weeks, he's in and out. He is joining the Sun and Venus currently in Scorpio. So we're in that Halloween mode. Tomorrow, this is big. Tomorrow, Mars goes retrograde in Gemini. I mean, he's basically been stopped there for so long. He's like grinded down to like that final degree, 25 Gemini. And he's going to sit there for 80 days before he stations direct. So I believe that's January of 2023. Um, Historically, I've seen financial issues. I've seen arguments, wars, lack of clarity. Now you got to remember it's Gemini, it's two things. And with this impending total lunar eclipse on the United States election day, I think, I think all hell and chaos could break loose. But as I heard on somebody else's podcast, um, today or yesterday, whoever the aggressor is in this Mars retrograde, they're usually the loser. Although, um, and I don't like to get political on here, but I may be. There are people in this country that are trying to take away basic human rights. Now, we all know about, the Roe v. Wade and trying to control women's bodies. One of the Pennsylvania candidates, I live in Pennsylvania, said in his debate the other night that your local politicians, along with your doctor, should be the ones that have the say in what a woman does with her body. Then the former vice president made an announcement that, he's pretty much said that he will be running for president in 2024. But one of his biggest platforms is to force Christianity onto every United States citizen. Um, First of all, I'm not into organized religion. Whatever all you believe, totally fine with me. But I have a lot of friends that are deep in the Jewish faith, Muslim faith, um, Hindu faith, Buddhism, Taoism. There's hundreds of religions. Try telling my Jewish friends from Philadelphia that they're going to have to now be Christian. Come on. It's just freaking insane. I think that, like, I'm trying to stay totally politically neutral, but I think that whenever a any government official or any politician wants to control what people do, in those, you know, just basic human freedoms, then we're going back to the times of fascism. Just gonna leave it there. But that has a lot to do with this Mars and Gemini. It's just craziness. Anyway, more on that when I talk about the eclipse, because I'll pull up the charts and show you all how it shows up. But there's craziness in everywhere in the world, especially in the UK right now. What else is happening for the week? Looking at my calendar. That's about it. We've got moon aspects. Next Saturday, Venus will be opposing Pluto or Uranus. Uranus. Sorry, I can't see. The typeset is so small. But that's probably the biggest thing. The biggest thing going on. So we have Jupiter that moved back into Pisces, Mercury into Scorpio. And yeah, I think they're going to be big. With Jupiter moving back into Pisces, I would expect, because it's, going to be, well, I don't think it'll exactly conjunct Neptune, but they're the rulers of oil and fossil fuels. We could possibly see a reduction in oil and gasoline prices, although driving past the gas station today, they were higher. So I don't know what that's about, because that's not expected. But that one gas station charges more than any other around here. So I don't typically go there. I just happen to be stopped at the light and saw the price. Um, yeah, so we could also possibly, well, I'm gonna save that for the eclipse. All right, so I'm 12 minutes in. I will timestamp this. All right, so if you chose the Messenger Oracle deck for your reading, let's see what you get. I don't know which deck I want. I don't even know if I want to choose. Things are just so funky and weird. Um, Tried to run and do errands today, and there were so many accidents. I just wound up being redirected into a complete circle right back to my house. Had to get my lottery tickets because $800 million Powerball tonight. Jupiter's back in Pisces. Even though it's retrograde, I'm taking that as a sign. Ah! And so yeah, wound up having to go to 7-Eleven to get my lottery tickets. And I got a Slurpee for the first time in probably 10 years, and it was wonderful. All right, I'm going to take the top card, the bottom card, and I'm going to cut into the deck for the middle card. And that's how I'm going to do this reading. So the top card is Nourish the Soul. And I love this. This is about really taking good care of yourself, feeding your soul. Feeding your soul not only with good foods, delicious, nutritious foods, but feeding your soul deep down with like good things to read, great things to listen to, beautiful music. What are you watching on the TV? Are you watching the friggin', you know, grim news that is designed to make people upset? Um, not going to say fake news, but it's everything is designed. I think like even TV, but put on a cute movie. It's Halloween time. Put on, maybe something entertaining. Feed your soul. Get out into nature. Sit at a fire pit. This is beautiful weather. Savor your foods. Exercise your body. Take a nice hot salt bath or salt scrub if you don't have a tub. which I don't understand why people have ripped out their tubs from their houses because I need my bathtub. I was just talking about it to my new next door neighbors. Um, so yeah, that's Nourish the Soul. And then the card on the bottom of the deck is dun dun dun. It is Wash Away Your Burdens. I love that. So this is not only are you nurturing your soul, washing away your burdens. So that would definitely say a salt scrub shower or a hot salt bath. You can energetically wash away burdens or that energy just by going out into nature and standing in the ground barefoot. Um, Washing away your burdens really feels like it's time for you to lighten your load. And the eclipses will help you do that. And that's got me kind of nervous a little bit. But this is about really taking care of you. And yes, I think people over obligate themselves sometimes because they feel bad for another person. And I mean, I can understand that, but this is really about focusing on like, what do you need? Are your needs being met? Are you feeding your soul? Are you getting enough sleep? And are you carrying too much of a burden? Like you have to ask for help, right? And now I'm going to do just a random cut into the middle of the deck. And of course, I got these in my hand, this in my hand. I'm not wearing my glasses. This is the card. I have no idea what it says. Hold on a second. Change is unavoidable. Change is unavoidable. Wow. That really fits with the season and the eclipses, doesn't it? And so, like, let's take a look. Let me take a look at this guy. He's like, he is the tree of life, the tree of wisdom. We have the moon and a moth. We have a skull. We have a black obsidian. There is the sun and a dragonfly. There's a lot of symbols of death here, but that could just be symbols of endings. You see all of that in there? That's pretty cool. Um, So that's why I think it's so important for you to lighten your load, reduce and wash away your burdens, nourish yourself, nourish your soul, because change is coming, something that's unavoidable. And actually, I was going to pick this deck, um, and I'll talk about how this really does fit me in so many ways when I do the wrap up at the end. So, yeah, I think that's it. And with this eclipse coming up, so we just came out of a solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is about illumination, but it should have shown a light, opened your eyes a little bit. The lunar eclipses is when things really go out. And because it's Taurus, Scorpio, fixed signs, fixed axis, these things can last for 6 months to a year, but fixed signs, it's usually something that's permanent, a permanent change. So I hope you liked your reading. Maybe I will post these readings during the week. We'll see. All right. So the next, you chose the wisdom of the House of Night. Let me shuffle those cards. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. All right. So the top card is differences, and that was my card for last week. And so you could see that post. You could go back to even last week's video because I talked about that a little bit. But this really even epitomizes everything that's going on in the world. This also is a great example of that Mars in Gemini. So here we have, we're talking about differences, and we all have differences. No two people are alike, even identical twins. There are still some nuances. But this is about knowing that we're different from other people and still accepting them just as they are, or seeing that they are just like us. For example, these two cats, one is black and one is white, but they're both cats. And you've got the fruit in the bowl. One is an apple, one is an orange, but they're both fruit. Um, Also makes me think about politically the right wing and the left wing, they are from the same bird. They are of the same bird. So we really have to detach ourselves from the judgments. And although, like I'm kind of a little enraged about the forceful implications that one political party wants to put on human beings, but at the same time, I feel like that's just coming from fear, and the need for power. And like I said in last week's video, I always envision people that I'm having a difficult time with. I envision them as a child because we all have started out as a child, and there was a time when we were sweet and innocent and not such douchebags, right? So this is about changing your perspective, not being judgmental, but just trying to observe and see how, like everybody, we all have one common goal. We, I feel, is we want to be safe, we want to be secure, and we want to make sure that the people that we love are safe and secure and have everything they need. And really, that's what it basically all comes down to. Okay, it's just the way people go about it. This is interesting. So this was the bottom of the card, and I think this came out in last week's reading um, for one of the signs, and it's the card called Rigid, and that's perfect to go with this differences card. So if you chose this Wisdom of the Night Oracle deck, this is saying, well, could go two ways, and I always see everything two ways. This could say that your judgments on other people are so rigid that it's outcasting you from society, from, being in the mix. This is also talking about, on one hand, that keeping those rigid boundaries may protect you, but I really feel like with it coming up this week with this differences card, it's saying like old or old outworn beliefs, very strict and rigid and structured beliefs about how things are supposed to be, like I don't know, I'm thinking of a specific scenario that happened with a friend, but I don't want to bring it up in case she watches this video. But you got to be a little more flexible in your thinking. Um, we can't be taking things personally because, you know, check out the four agreements. I just feel as though, some people are very, very rigid in their thoughts and beliefs that they see the black and the white cat as two totally different entities. They don't see them as equals. That's kind of where I'm going. And put my glasses on before I pull from the middle of the deck. What do we have? Oh, this is interesting because she came up a couple weeks ago or so, and it's the High Priestess of Water. Interesting. The High Priestess of Water. Oh, The High Priestess of Water. Maybe it was the High Priestess of Air that had come up before. Either way, this is like Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy. Someone who is very emotional, taking on a lot of other people's emotions, picking up that energy. And I really feel it's very Cancerian because look at the moon right in her forehead. She is either, she's an energy vampire, somebody sucking the energy and the emotion, sucking the energy out of you, creating emotion in you. She's very powerful, very glamorizing, but let's put this all together. Um, this is the card of the empath. This is the card of the intuit. So a lot of times when we are picking up energy of other people, it feels like it's our own. So we really have to be very discerning. Like if you are thinking things or feeling things that you like, where's this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? You want to tap into and put up some protection and some boundaries because it's like somebody's energy vampiring you. But this is also somebody who is overly emotional, very rigid, very biased, very judgmental. So you may want to be changing your perception, your perspective on situations around you and in the world. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, put that away. And then last but not least, the Halloween Oracle deck. Is this what you picked? I didn't want to pick that because I really just didn't want to take a chance on getting some dark cards, but there's not all dark cards in this deck. Some of them are wonderful. And then so I chose the Messenger Oracle deck and got it anyway, right? Trying to be positive here, but I guess I did use three rather interesting decks. It is Halloween, isn't it? All right, let me just shuffle these really good. This is a smaller deck. All right, the top card is Ghost, and it is about regret. And that is interesting. So this is a really good time for thinking about this. So, you know, with Dia de los Muertos, honoring our dead, honoring the past. But the ghost talks about being stuck in the past, having regrets, and being stuck where you are because you're living too much in the past. Um, you have to make peace with any regrets that you may have. Maybe, you know, you didn't handle a situation or a relationship well. You've got to make peace with that and move on because otherwise you're going to be stuck in the place that you are and there will be no moving on. It's almost as if you're chained to a person, situation, a place, um, because you can't, you're not healing what needs to be healed and moving on from the past. So that's what I'm picking up with that. The card on the bottom of the deck is Skull of Darkness. So this all of these readings were pretty grim. Skull of Darkness talks about blind spots together with this ghost. So it's interesting because a lot of times when people are stuck in the past, they don't even realize it and they don't, like, even if somebody brings it to their attention, they will excuse it away. So the Skull of Darkness is saying it's time for you to light a candle. This is a great time of year to be doing that and, you know, opening up your eyes. Well, the solar eclipse and now the total lunar eclipse that's coming the following week it will open your eyes. It's going to, it could be for whoever chose this, like the rug was ripped out from under them. Because in a sense, I'm picking up, like, it's easy to point the finger at other people, but you're not looking at the common denominator in your situation. Open up your eyes, see those blind spots. And then the middle card, just going to, it's skeleton and it's strength. And this is actually a really good card to go with this. The skeleton says you're going to have to reach rock bottom, bare bones, bare minimum, but you will survive. You will pull through because it is Scorpio season and it is about transformation. So this card is actually saying to me, you have the ability during Scorpio season, during this month, or even the year following this eclipse, to really transform your life. You have the strength, you will have the endurance. You may feel as though you've lost everything. Like I said, bare bones, rock bottom, but sometimes you have to get to that place in order for you to uncover your blind spots and stop living in the past. And that is my reading for all of you. I hope you liked your pick a card. I know they were kind of, mm, I think that's my neighbors saying that they're making a fire pit. So, um, just a quick announcement. So I'm going to have to try and do the lunar eclipse video within a couple of days because I want to put that out there so that you can explore your own charts and, the cards. I will do cards for every zodiac sign for that. I've been really low on energy ever since that new moon in Scorpio. Update on my Barley baby Beagle Brown. He was doing really, really well, but I've noticed over the last couple of days, like each day, he's just like getting slower and slower and slower. And the sun came out. I thought that that would help. And he's extremely lethargic. I don't know, like today, I'm actually really kind of concerned for him. He's still on his meds. He goes back for evaluation on November 2nd, but I don't have a good feeling about it. He did get to see his new best friend, Bentley Bubba Baby, who will be moving in next door. So my friends, my next door neighbors are selling their house to their son and daughter-in-law who are best friends with my daughter who only lives a couple blocks away. So it's pretty fantastic for me. And their dog is best friends with my Barley baby Beagle Brown. Now, Bailey Marie Wonder Dog, she hates Bentley. I don't know why. He's a beautiful blue pit. And so when Barley saw him, he came running. Um, they wagged tails through the fence, smelled each other, and then I walked Barley down to the front of the property so that they could love up on each other a little bit, but it took everything out of him and he's been sleeping ever since, and that was several hours ago. So yeah, that's what's going on. So I got to get the lunar eclipse video done because I don't feel good about the situation. I don't want to I don't know what will happen, and I don't want to leave you all without a video for that lunar eclipse. And then we'll see what happens. Keep you guys updated. Thank you for all the prayers and the well wishes and such beautiful, really nice messages that a lot of you have been sending me. The Reiki that you've been sending to him, I really appreciate it. I think, I think that's all. I think that's all I have. Um, this total lunar eclipse. and the aspects from all the other planets is going to be an absolute shit show. I'm just going to let you know that right now. It's so much that I just can't even process it. Um, and because Uranus is right on top of this eclipse, that's expect the unexpected. So like I can't even speculate. Other astrologers are saying can't even speculate what this could be. As far as the elections are concerned, doesn't even seem like we will have a definitive answer on election day, and it could take quite a long time. um, it seems like there's something violent coming, so be really careful. Make sure you get out to the polls and vote. um, but be careful. You know, if you've had the news on or anything, there's a lot of violent things happening, politically motivated. So get out and vote. Whoever it is that you're voting for, at least let your voice be heard. Chrysocolla, right? Um, yeah. I think this is scaring me. This eclipse takes me back. This is the most potent eclipse in the almost 50 years of me being an astrologer, that I've ever seen. I've talked with other astrologers. They're agreeing because they've been in, 60 plus years, like, my mentors. Um, but it makes me feel like the eclipse in July, the lunar eclipse in July of 2018, when I lost my shug on that day. So after a vision that I had the December before, December 2017, like that flash of a vision, and it totally played out on the exact day on that eclipse. So I don't know. I'm kind of having like same feelings about my Barley Baby Beagle Brown. And I guess that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon. And yeah, have a great week. Have a great week. I don't even know what to say, how to end this, but yeah. Let me see if the fire pit is being made as we speak. Happy Halloween, happy Samhain, happy All Hallows Eve, happy Dia de los Muertos. Ciao.